Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. That's a quote from the Almanack of Naval. I believe it was the guy that wrote Happy Body, his trainer, Gregory something, that says it often. And it keeps popping back up in my head. I keep thinking about it. It's a really good, simple way to explain a lot of things in life. See, we pursue the path of least resistance, which is why our species in our modern environment is devolving. 50% plus obesity rate, people dying from modern preventable diseases is a result of taking the easy path, making easy decisions, making short-term based decisions to get immediate rewards versus taking the path of most resistance, making hard decisions, doing things now that might be unpleasant or that might not give you the highs that you're looking for, but that will benefit you over the long run. All right, so let's just very simply talk about a few examples of this, and then maybe this heuristic and this idea will pop up in your head to help you make better decisions on a recurring basis. So it might be easy to order pizza or eat that packaged junk food in the cabinet. It might be harder to prepare a meal from scratch using raw, real ingredients. In fact, almost always in the short term, that's going to be a flip-flopped equation. It's going to be easier to buy and eat the cheap, convenient food, and it's going to be worse off in the long run for you, whereas it's going to be harder in the short run to eat those foods that are made from scratch, that you prepare cooking and preparing and all those different things, but are going to benefit you in the long run. It's easier to stay inside when it's cold outside, make some excuse about not going to the gym, not getting outside, not moving, not taking a walk, not doing things you normally do because the weather, whatever. And then your health is going to suffer in the long run. It's easier to go watch Netflix instead, make some excuse about how I'll start tomorrow or I'll start Monday or whatever. But in the long run, it will be harder because you'll have sickness, you'll have disrepair, you'll have to go to the doctor often, you'll potentially die an early death. Unfortunately, that is the reality of the situation. Our species are adapted for a while in which things are scarce. We couldn't do anything or get anything on demand with a push of a button. Yet today we can, and this is one of the greatest environmental mismatches for our species that causes so many issues for modern humans. And you see that people that build the habit, build their identity around growth, development, and making hard decisions now are those that benefit. Most investors won't invest for years on end. So they watch the financial news and they want to trade and do all these different things. They want to get those highs and those lows, that fast-paced nature. Whereas you read something by Warren Buffett or you follow his investing methodology, which is about getting rich in 20 or 30 years. Everybody wants to look amazing naked and have perfect body and be muscular and be fit and be this and be that. But they want it like next week. Maybe they have to go to the gym a few times. Maybe they don't have to give up their favorite foods. They don't truly want the result if the result includes the hard choices. And this is the same equation that modern humans face and that we all do in some way. We all have things we're better or worse at. We all have things that we might make those easy choices on, that we're not as good on, that we're working on. And we have those things that we're strong on and that we can make good decisions on. And maybe it's our diet, maybe it's our health, maybe it's our sleep, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But the more that you can shift your identity to making those hard decisions, every single time you have a chance to make an easy decision. If you make that hard decision, that long-term decision, you're going to benefit. And the more you do it, the more you strengthen that muscle. And if you do that enough, it will eventually become who you are. I kid you not, this concept applies to everything in your life. Finances, health, your relationships, everything. I mean, literally like everything. Your work, your reading, your knowledge, something you're building, starting a new business, everything. When you make those hard choices, at least in the beginning, because eventually when it's who you are, they become easy choices. That's how I feel about this, right? But it's a good reminder because we're always going to be slipping into the easy buttons that we can push. But if we make the better decisions, the long-term decisions, which are generally the harder decisions, and we avoid the short-term easy buttons that give us that crap that we want right away, we want to feel good, we want to get high, we want it now, we don't want it later. If we can move our decisions to the long, hard decisions as much as possible in our life, we will have better lives in every way. And then when we finally reap what we sowed, people are going to look at us and be like, I want that too. That's amazing. Or how'd you do it? And this is what I struggle with when I'm trying to give people advice or help them in some way. It's that idea of like the beginning of the year. I know you have all these ideas and aspirations. And I know that most of you, and maybe not you watching, but just you out there, are gonna fail or stop. Really, it's just stopping. Almost nobody fails. They just quit. They stop. And that's gonna happen in about February, March. I used to own a gym. I saw it all the time. Everybody gets all hyped up about a new year, new me, new this, new that. And then they regress to the mean. And their mean is their average, is who they are. And the only way to, not the only way, but there's a lot of ways, but to raise that mean, it usually requires doing things you've never done that you're afraid of, becoming a completely different person, right? Because who you are is your mean. And if you want something that's above that mean, you have to become a person whose mean is here. And then you got to become a person whose mean is there. And you have to continually evolve and adapt and get stronger. If you can make it your habit to seek out the path of most resistance, the path that is an investing path, the path that is foregoing and pushing reward and dopamine spikes off as much as possible, it's just amazing what you can do with your life. It's amazing what you get when you get compound interest and you keep investing and you keep growing and you keep building. It is literally amazing. I mean, I'm only 35. I've been doing this stuff for 15 years. And I feel like the past few years, let's say the past 5 years, I feel like if I could take everything that I know now, or even just the things I've learned and had realizations for in the past 5 years, and if I could have given those to myself when I was 21, I would have literally saved 10 years of my life. I would be, who knows where I'd be. That's life. What can I do? I'm going to take where I'm at now. I'm going to keep building. And when the rewards come in maybe a few years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it happens to be, I'm going to remember that it was the 15 years, the 20 years, or whatever that it took to get there. And that's why, finally, to close this video out, the idea of the infinite game is so important. So this is an idea that I've been applying to my professional life when I'm thinking about, like, what are the things that I want to do no matter what? If I had $1 billion, what would I do? And I realized I would record podcasts. I would think, I would read, I would write, and I would do videos. By focusing on that being my infinite game, I can keep doing these things. I can ignore the metrics. If I get frustrated that I get shadow banned on this or my subscribers drop or whatever, like, who cares? It literally doesn't matter. Because my infinite game, I'm already playing it. And an infinite game, you play it for the sake of playing it. So when you find a flow state, when you do something you love, when you have a passion, when you have a hobby, maybe it's chess, maybe it's building something, whatever it is, the goal is to not quit. You're not trying to win something and then you stop. You're trying to go forever. And that's what this is for me. Writing, thinking, podcasting, and doing videos is my infinite game. But so is my health. I'm not training for some event or some competition and then I'll just quit and fall and become overweight and whatever. Like, I've been doing this for 15 years now as an adult where I've cared about my health and I've been lean and had abs that entire time. Now, I did fluctuate a little bit here and there. My habits have fluctuated, but I'm the most consistent person that I know when it comes to health. In fact, probably when it comes to most things. Some combination of genetics and environment. I don't know what or why. And there's obviously people that are way more strict and consistent than I am. But I do know in some way, it's always going to come back to hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. And that should be a first principle of how you live your life. So let me know what you think about in the comments. This is a little bit more of a mindset philosophy type video. Let me know if you want to see more like this. And of course, $2.99 for my recent book, a short, easy. This is a great stocking stuffer. $2.99. Well, actually the Kindle's $2.99, but the actual physical book I think is $10 or whatever. I'm proud of it. It's good. It's short bits that you don't have to commit to reading a big thing, and it's easy to reference and go back to and dog tag and do things like that, or ear tag or whatever they call it when you mark the corner of a book. And it's 50 tips for real food, help you get back to the natural human diet, because everything, when it comes to nutrition, that hard choice is to make sure you're eating real food all the time, cooked at home, not cooked at a restaurant or out of a package or whatever. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, Colin here. Got a freebie for you. Click on the button below to go to theancestralmind.com and download the 7 Principles of Living Wild. This is a short PDF that's got some of the main principles, such as real food, sleep, movement, and a couple more that are going to help you live more ancestrally in accordance with your genes.